You are going to keep losing sales over and over and over until you realize these 5 things I'm going to share with you today. By the end of this video, you're going to understand these beliefs that are holding you back unconsciously, and more importantly, how to shift them. You see, what happens is that we have certain beliefs that we hold underneath the layer of the iceberg. If you think about an iceberg, you have a tip, what you can see consciously, but 90% of it is what's happening beneath the surface. Your behavior, your thoughts, your identity, your words, your tone are all happening without you even thinking about it. You have no idea what is holding you back because your subconscious patterns have been instilled in you for the last 10, 15, and 20 years. Here's number 1. You believe that sales is pushy. If you're selling your product or your service, you're a service-based entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you have an info product, but you believe that when you provide that to people, you help them. But if you have to be the one to market it to them, to sell them on it, you're actually doing more harm than you're doing good. Here's what's happening is that you believe that sales is taking versus believe that sales is serving. The root word of sales, it's a Norwegian word, and it's selge, which means to serve. I realize that the more I can enroll someone in my sales training, in my NLP courses, I'm going to increase their quality of life. And I think about it this way. If I'm going to increase someone's ability to communicate and they're in sales, they are going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of their career. So is it fair for me to charge $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? Absolutely, because it's quantifiable. So when you believe that sales is taking or you don't want to be pushy when you're selling, realize this. If you had the key to help someone unlock a lock they've been trying to break for years and years and years, and your service is going to deliver value, you're actually doing a disservice not selling that person. Here's how to rewire the belief system. Every single day before you get onto a sales call, you need to remind yourself the value of what you do and put it into a quantifiable, measurable ROI or return on your investment. If you can do this, it's going to make you presenting your product or your service very, very simple. Here's number 2. And this one is actually going to surprise you. It's that you don't feel worthy enough about making money. And I've talked to so many different people that had this belief, and it's not something consciously you say, yes, I feel this way. But at a subconscious level, it's going to affect the way that you speak, which is going to make you stutter when you're supposed to sound confident. It's going to make you hesitate when you're supposed to go in and capitalize and enroll that person on your offer. And here's the reason why. You could feel unworthy because maybe you were used to working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to make half of what you make on one sales call. So now you have a subconscious belief pattern that instilled in you from when the time that you were probably about 5 years old. You had beliefs you have to work very hard for your money. You see your parents working all day and night. They tell you, you need to work hard. You need to go to school, get an education. Life's not going to be easy, so you have to work hard. And now this instills a belief system that's going to hold you back from reaching this certain level of your life. Here's what I want you to know. We have something called a reticular activating system. It's a mechanism in our brain that highlights or beams in like a laser to things that we find important or things of danger. An example is this. If, say you're walking down the street and you're just on your iPod, wow, that's old. You're just on your iPhone, minding your own business, walking down the street, and you don't think much of every flower. You don't think much of all of the wind in your hair, the sounds of the cars. But now if you're walking and you see a flower that's your mother's favorite flower or your favorite flower, it's going to catch your eye, even though you probably passed 10 or 15 different bushes, trees, and flowers, because you've deemed that important. So subconsciously, your mind has a radar system always going, sort of like a lighthouse, just scanning and scanning and scanning. Your subconscious mind sees everything. And now it brings that to your conscious awareness. Or the same way you're walking, but now you see a dog that looks aggressive, it's going to catch your eye, even out of the corner, because your subconscious mind is always scanning for danger. In NLP, we teach that your subconscious mind, one of the prime objectives is preservation, to protect and to make sure that you are preserved as one whole. So now when you think about how this relates to your life and what you're going, and I hope I'm not losing you with all the jargon, but I want you to understand how important this is to understanding your mind, is that when you have no control over what's going on because it's happening subconsciously, your entire life is going to be ran without you having any idea what's going on. A philosopher by the name of Carl Jung says, until you can make the unconscious conscious, your entire life is going to be ran thinking that it's fate. but these behaviors have been programming you from the time that you were born until now to act and behave a certain way. So you need to start to reshape your mind. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Somebody here needs to transform their mind with renewing it every single day. Same way in the Bible, it says his mercies are made new every day. You need to make yourself new every day. You don't just take a shower once a week and say, I showered this week. You got to do the thing every single day. Now, another belief is just very simply that you're not confident enough, or maybe you're not good at sales, or maybe you're not a salesperson. Beautiful. You don't have to be a salesperson. All you need to do is understand other humans, believe in what it is that you provide, and have the ability to articulate the value in what you are giving to that person. I don't care what it is that you're selling, whether it's a hat, an iPhone, a computer, a camera, an info product, you're selling a course, whatever it is, you just need to show that person, and this has to be true or else you're just faking it. But if it's true, you need to show them how your product or your service is going to help with a certain problem. This is easy when the person is what we call problem aware. But now, when they're not problem aware, you need to make them aware of that problem through intentional question asking. NLP gets you very, very good at asking intentional questions to find the root cause. We can chunk a question up to find out what the purpose of the desire is to really go very high on a value level, or we can chunk it all the way down to get very deep and granular and understand the very specific thing holding that person back. So what I created here is going to be, it's an intro course all about what NLP is. The reason why I did this is because a proper NLP course is going to cost you thousands of dollars. I've spent almost $20,000 just on NLP alone to become a trainer of it. So I wanted to create something that was simple for the average person that doesn't want to invest that kind of money up front, but wants to learn more about their mind and wants to see if this is a field they want to dive deeper in. So I'm going to have a link in my description below. If you want to go check it out, it's going to be cheap, probably $20 to $50, depending on what time you see this video at, but check it out. If this interests you, I can take this way deeper, work with you one-on-one and help you overcome these limiting beliefs. I will be very transparent. To work with me one-on-one, my time is invested into it. It's not cheap, it's not easy, but it will get you results. So click the link in description to learn more. See you soon. Bye-bye.